Hi guys, welcome to my video, and in this video I'll be teaching you the fundamentals of graphic design. I'm Kayode Leke by name, and you can subscribe to my channel at any time that is convenient. So now, without wasting much time, what is graphic design? It is the organization or presentation of information developed through a creative process for a particular purpose. Now, graphic design in itself is basically a representation or an illustration of a message that you are trying to pass across to a specific audience using graphical representations or basically illustrations. Now, the key elements to components of graphic design are line, color, shape, texture, space, typography. Now, when we say elements of graphic design, what we mean basically is we are referring to those things that make up a design, those things that you put together to actually make your design to be called actually a design. Now, the first one being line. We have different types of lines, like we all know: the horizontal line, the vertical line, the diagonal, thick, thin, and chain line. Now, color. For colors, we have different kinds of colors. We have the primary colors, we have the secondary colors. But the reason why I didn't actually put that here as an example is because here we're basically referring to how we combine colors to actually match. Now, in terms of combining colors, we'll be looking at monochromatic and analogous. Monochromatic colors basically are colors that stand out, that I would say are neutral. For instance, like having color purple now and different shades of purple, or basically having color black and having different shades of black. Then for analogous are basically colors that alternate themselves, that that when you combine them together, they are not the same, but when you combine them together they tend to match. Then shape, your regular shapes, basic shapes, not solid now, not 2D, not 3D shapes, but basically 2D shapes. We have triangle, square, rectangle. Then the texture refers to most times your background. Like, you could have a solid background, like maybe metallic background, or a background that signifies like a earth or wooden background. Yeah, so those are solid backgrounds, those are under nature. Then patterns, just like maybe a fabric, or a repetition of a particular shape to form patterns, maybe check patterns and the likes. Then your space, talk about negative or positive spaces. Now, a negative space basically is a space that 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 is not covered in your design. For instance, you have a shape at the center of your design and you have lots of white spaces around it. So that's those white spaces are the negative spaces. Then the positive space is the space that your design actually covers. So negative spaces in your design are the spaces that your message does not really cover on the design, while positive spaces are the spaces on your design that your message covers. Then typography has to do with your font size. You have different types of fonts. In the next video I will show you how you can access different millions of fonts. There are different types of fonts, most especially maybe if you want to create a logo, maybe like a signature logo. You could get a font that looks like a signature, and just in less than 5 minutes or less than 2 minutes you're done with your design. So typography and logo presentation is also important in graphic design. Now, this is a graphical illustration of how our designs of example of the elements of design I showed you earlier. Now you can see line and you can see color. Yeah, you can see that for the line, you can see different types of lines. You can see the horizontal line, you can see the spiral line, you can see the diagonal line. Then you can see color, different shades of color. Then texture, like I said, you can see a brick there, and you can see a white background, you know. So then for your shape, like we mentioned also, different kinds of shape, the square, the star, basically 2D shapes, not 3D now. You know, if you're talking about 3D shapes, you're talking about shapes like cube, sphere, pyramid, you know. But for 2D shapes, we're talking about triangles, we're talking about rhombus, we're talking about your polygons basically, and your square, your rectangle. Now for the size, you can see that there are different types of sizes. You know, you can actually create, you can actually represent designs based on sizes. I'll show you some examples that will make you understand how this size works, because using sizes also helps you to explain hierarchies. That's the important, how important a particular um, message in your graphics differ from another. So also we have spaces, like I told you. You can see in this particular white box, you can see that there's a white rectangle inside. So you can see that that white rectangle itself is the positive space. Then the sides, the edges, the spaces that are empty within the design outside that white rectangle are the negative spaces. Now, principles of design. We have contrast, we have hierarchy, we have alignment, we have balance, proximity, repetition, simplicity, and function. And basically, contrast has to do with the amount of lighting or darkness on your design. So when I'll be teaching you or showing you how to use Photoshop, you understand contrast more. Then hierarchy. On hierarchy, like I explained to you, you can use sizes. You know, like let's assume you want to pass a message, and in form of a text. You got the main message can be, you can increase the size of the font of the main message. Then the minor message, you can reduce the font, maybe a small font. You know, that will also help the viewers to understand that, oh, this one in bigger font is more important than this one in smaller font. Then alignment, you know, you could actually align to the center, to the bottom, to the top, to the left, to the right. Then balance, symmetric or asymmetric. You know, you can actually balance your work to be symmetric. That is, what is on the left is the same with what is on the right. Asymmetric, you know, it doesn't, maybe that means what is on the side, the space on the left could be bigger than the space on the right, or the space on the right could be bigger than the space on the left. Then proximity has to do with closeness. You know, your work doesn't have to be jam-packed, because it has to be presentable and attractive to the viewer. So the proximity must, well, this has to also do with spaces, also negative and positive spaces. But notwithstanding, we are trying to optimize our space using proximity, in the sense that you must have less negative spaces, and at the same time your positive space must not be too jam-packed. So repetition is a way of also showing that something is important, most especially maybe in your texture, that's your background. If you can duplicate your logo several times, you know, this could also mean that you want the logo, you want your customers or your viewers to reckon with that particular logo and know that, oh, this is our brand, this is our representation. Simplicity, make your design as simple as possible, easy to comprehend. Then function, that is, the major reason why you are creating that design. It must be made, your message must be clear and not haphazard. Okay, now this is a graphic representation of all what I just explained to you. You can see proximity here on the lower right. You can see what I explained on proximity. So negative, it has to do with your spaces. Then repetition, and most especially repetition in most cases has to do with branding. Repetition has to do with branding. For instance, if you're creating your designs for social media posts, like the post you post on Instagram, you will definitely like your logo to appear all the time. You like your logo to appear all the time. That's repetition. When your viewers view the first post, they see your logo, they view the second one, and you're doing this over and over again over a certain period of time, they tend to recognize that, oh, anywhere they see this logo, even if they don't see your name, they know that, oh, this is so so so, this is so so so. Then contrast, like I told you, it has to do with colors. It's like opposite. It has to do with opposite colors, trying to balance them and make it look presentable to the eye. Like I said, lightning, light must not be too much on your design. Then also darkness must not also be too much on your design. Then now alignment, like I told you earlier, you could align to the left, you could align to the center, you could align to the right, you could align to the top, you could align to the middle, and you could align to the bottom. So as it suits you in your design, you use alignment. Now, effects applied in graphic design. Now, when you're designing, you also learn this more at the tutorial I'll be giving you on the design, on how to use Photoshop. We have proximity, we have opacity, overlap, light and shadow, perspective. Now, all this effect makes your work look more like reality. Now, if you know, in the real world that we have lights, like maybe the sun, we have shades, we have shadows, we have drop shadows, yes, we have perspective. If you are standing at a vantage point and you are looking at an object that is afar, you know that the size of the object will be smaller than when the object is closer to you. So that's perspective. Opacity has to do with how much an object fades. How the filter, like if the object is clearer or is not too clear. So this can also work alongside with perspective. Then I explained proximity to you earlier also. Now let's look at a few examples of designs that I have made. Now this was a design I made for Nasima Export Group. Basically, in this particular design, you can see that the shape. Now let's explain this a bit. Now you can see the first thing you see here is the logo. This logo shows you repetition. So anybody that sees this knows that, oh, this is Nasima Export Group, and they will reckon with the brand. Now you can see that the Nasima name here is bigger than the Export Group. The Export Group here is bigger than the knowledge, advocacy and practice. So I'm basically giving this I'm giving this is more preference, so that they will know that, oh, this one is more important than this. That has to do with sizes. Now you can see sizes also with this polygon here, 1 2 3. You can see that this is smaller than this and this is smaller than this. So you can also use sizes, and you can see this is shape also here. So these are elements of graphic design. Then you can see here that I also made this message here, 2 days left, very big. This also shows that, oh, anybody that looks at this design, the first thing they notice is this 2 days left. So it makes them to take quick action by 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 just making this more obvious. Then also you notice that the price here is also big in bold, is very bold. It catches the eye first when the viewer sees the design. So you can see here we have the same for 15,000. You can see the account number here is a bit smaller. You can see that this phone number here also is also big. So also the title here is also big. You can see where how to register. I can say I made it small. Yeah, because a lot of persons might not want to register online. Some might want to actually make inquiries by calling. So I made this phone number big, and the registration link, I made that small. So this is how you can actually create simple designs that are highly presentable and beautiful by just, it doesn't have to be shabby. And you can see here, these white spaces here are called negative spaces. These white spaces here are called negative spaces. So these spaces, the places that my designs cover, all these places that this text cover are called positive spaces. So, and you can see that the proximity between them is not too much, but at the same time is quite reasonable. It's quite, optimum. So these are the elements that you need to have in your design. Now look at another example. You can see here that the message here, the size of the font is bigger than every other thing here. And you can see that we have less negative spaces. You can see that you can see this opacity. You can see this opacity. Now this opacity shows that I use a gradient to make this keyboard to fade towards the end of the edge of the design, so thereby making everything on top of it to be bold. So this is one of the properties. This is an effect actually of graphic design. Then you can see the sizes here, they are bigger than these ones. And if you notice, there's nothing special about this design, but look at now, I use color here. I didn't want to increase the size of this featuring God class choir again. You can see that the color here is red while everything here is black. So it also catches the eye, even though the size is small. But being red, it means, oh, red actually means danger. It means, caution. It means attention. So red, now anybody that comes here will first notice this title being more than music because of the size. Then the next thing they will notice is this featuring God class choir again because of the color. So now this is another design also that I did. You can see, just like I have explained, you can see that the main design here, which is the car and the phone, you can see they are big to show it, because that's actually the main message. And the next thing is the title, which is helps to improve employee safety, is also big. So you can use sizes, hierarchy, and the likes to explain your design effectively. Then at the bottom you can see I made them small because these are not actually the main message, but these are repetitions, because this will always come out in every design I do for this particular brand. This logo and this footer will always come out in every logo design I do for this brand. So that's repetition. So softwares that you can use for graphic designs, we have CorelDRAW, then Photoshop. I'll be teaching you how to use Photoshop very soon. In the next in one of the videos I'll be giving to you for free. I'll teach you how to use Photoshop for different things. Also, I'll be showing you how to use Canva also. Canva is a web-based design software, then Illustrator, then Inkscape. Now the thing here is this: there are two types of designs. You have raster and we have vector. Now for vector designs, you make use of CorelDRAW, Illustrator, and Inkscape. Then for raster designs, you use Photoshop. So in one of the lessons I was giving to you, I also show you how or the importance or the difference between raster and vector designs. Now in the next lesson, I'll be explaining to you the theory of logo design, how you can create a logo for yourself or for a client. So ensure you watch the next video I'll be sending to you. So I also like you to, okay, this is a logo. This is a logo that I designed for a client, Orlando Global Services Limited. I'll be explaining the concept of how this logo was designed in the next video I'll send to you. So ensure you watch the next video. Now I need you to follow me on social media. On my Instagram, is Cause Big Man, then Facebook Cause Big Man, then also my YouTube channel. On my YouTube channel I have so many tutorials, not only on graphic design, even on web design and on social media marketing and management. I have so many tutorials that I know that you can benefit from. So go and follow me on each of these platforms. Then also my website, you can also go to my website to, if you want to contact me through my phone number, or you want to get my contacts, or you want to see some of my works, or you want me to do or you want to work with me in whatsoever way, or a collaboration or whatsoever that you want, you can go to my website and get relevant information. So nice and for you to watch this video, and I'll see you in the next video.